Sunday in Calgary for the second of 3 meetings between the Stampeders and the BC Lions. All I can think of is tough day to wear a black suit in Alberta. It's a little warm here today. The Calgary Stampeders are looking to remain perfect at home, where they've started the year 2-0. The BC Lions are absolutely red hot, led by a quarterback firing on all cylinders.
Vernon Adams Jr. has won 20 of his 28 starts with BC. He has led the Lions to a 5-1 start to the season and is on a torrid pace in the passing yards department. Adams is averaging 391 yards per game in the last 4 all-wins. Jake Maier has played some of his best football this year, but we'll tell you that stats are just numbers if you don't get the win. He's thrown for over 300 in 2 games. One was the Lions early in the season. Didn't get the win in either.
Dave Dickinson's 2 wins at home this year over Hamilton and Winnipeg. They are winless on the road. That does not matter today. And Rick Campbell and the BC Lions roll in here on a 5-game winning streak, a winning streak that started with a 26-17 win over Calgary in their 2nd game of the year. It is a high-flying offense for the BC Lions, and a high-flying offense that will have the ball to start this game. Calgary deferred after winning the toss. BC said, let's give it to VA to get things started, and get things started we've done, as this is booted away. It'll be taken at the 15-yard line by Terry Williams. Williams, a little stumble, and is tripped up just outside the 30, a return of 18 yards.
Well, Vernon Adams has a winning record versus Calgary at 7-4 and is 37-20 in his career in the CFL as a starter. This is game number 100 for Vernon Adams.
Was patient along the way to put himself in the position he's in now. ...451 yards and a touchdown last week. Starts here on his own 32 with Stanback standing in directly to his left. Wants to throw here. Pressured, gets it away over the middle, and that is batted down. Nice play to get things started. Who else? Micah Alway.
Take a look at the Lions offensive starters. Tyler Packer up there will be familiar to a lot of people here in Calgary. Of course, a U of C graduate, replacing Michael Couture very nicely at that center spot. And wow, is this receiver hot or not? Justin McInnes, just the 240 plus last week in their win.
14 catches on 14 targets. Wow. For McInnes last week. Does VA look for him here? Flush out of the pocket on the run to his right, tripped and hit as he throws, and that is incomplete. And VA a little bit slow to get up after being finished on that play pretty hard.
Well, pressure is going to be key for Calgary. You heard the panel talk about how the Calgary Stampeders are going to have to make Vernon Adams uncomfortable and possibly try and cover down Justin McInnes, so he has to go somewhere else with the ball. That's Cam Judge. We'll watch how he plays this, because he may spy Vernon Adams.
Brooks backing up, has it bounce off his chest, is able to pick it up and lunge ahead, and he dodges a bullet here in the early going at McMahon, as Jake Maier gets a crack at remaining perfect at home here.
Yeah, I've been saying, I'd say it off the top, that I think he's playing some of his best football, and just yet the record hasn't yet reflected that at 2-3. He wants to try and win this one. I'll send a message to the top team in the West Division and close the gap on the top 2 teams in BC and Saskatchewan. But over 300 twice, once against the Lions and once last week. Didn't get the win in either of those games. 2 losses that they've had in a row here against Montreal, and then that thriller against Winnipeg in week 6. Maier starts here, far side. That is complete. Begelton trying to push ahead, and Deontay Evans gets some help there, and they eventually push him out of bounds. Well, how about we feature a couple of University of Calgary grads, and that would be Sean McEwen for the Calgary Stampeders offensive line. Jake Maier, a lot of great things to say about his center in our Zoom calls this week. And Dedrick Mills had 131 yards rushing in that shootout versus the Bombers last week. His best game, and the best game for any tailback this year. He had 145 yards combined on the ground and through the air in week 2 against the BC Lions. We'll see if they get him going again here today. Maier, that's exactly where he goes. Mills near side, and he's got a first down out beyond the 50 for the Calgary Stampeders. 7 targets, 6 catches
in their first game against BC for Mills.
See the pressure starting to break down. That pocket got there, started to collapse, and that's why the check down was available. Dedrick Mills picking up the first.
Mills has been outstanding this season, does not yet have a touchdown. Tommy Stevens got 4 rushing touchdowns, and that short yardage work for Calgary. 1st and 10 from their own 51. This one laid out into the flat, picked up immediately and hammered down. Bagleton gets popped by Ronald Kent Jr.
Reggie Bagleton's going to start in the backfield. He's going to swing across and get out there in that little hitch. You see him right in front of Jake Mayer, number 84. He's going to that little hitch route, and watch the closing speed from Ronald Kent. Need that first guy blocked. Mark and Michelle just didn't quite get enough of him.
Blew right by him, didn't he? Loss of 5 yards, sets up 2nd and 15 here early in the ball game for Calgary. And that is caught beyond the original line of scrimmage, but well short of what they needed for a first down. Is back to Reggie Bagleton again goes Jake Mayer. Reggie Bagleton, guy they certainly want to get going. Bagleton 200 yards so far on the season. 3 catches already in this ballgame. Cody Grace out for the first time today on a 3rd and 8. Gets it away cleanly from his own 43. Williams has to hustle underneath this, and he bobbles it. Flag flies for no yards, as both returners with some jittery play here in the early going. McInnes, more on him when we return. 5 yards receiving so far this season, 243 of them against a pretty good Riders defense last week.
Yeah, very good defense that tried to cover him with single coverage for most of the night, and then after he was catching it in single coverage, didn't matter if a DB was right there. They tried to double him, didn't matter either.
Could not stop him last week. Calgary with that job this week, and that one almost intercepted through the hands of the receiver, and Roberson had a crack at it. Would have been his 4th of the campaign.
Yeah, just a little bit wide and outside. Again, the hitch screen trying to just get a little rhythm going, and that goes right through Roberson's hands. We had a good chat with him about defending Vernon Adams and his hot streak of late.
That would have been a big swing in momentum here in the early stages.
Here they come.
Adams near side with the pressure coming. That's over the head of Justin McInnes. And out of play.
Really load up that left side, the Calgary defense, and this really is going to be a showdown tonight, I think, between Jordan Maximic, the offensive coordinator for the Lions, and Brent Monson, the DC for the Calgary Stampeders. They're coming over that left side and just loading it up, coming off the edge. Too many to block, and the throw just high and outside, intended for McInnes.
Back-to-back 2-and-outs to start the game for the Lions. This kick bounces at about the 33 after a 45-yard kick returned right back to where it initially bounced. Dedrick Mills, big game last week. We'll recap it when we return to McMahon. Welcome back to McMahon. Brooks remains down on the field. You'll get a look at it here. It's his left arm that appears to be snapped just above the wrist. We had another look at it that we will not show you. Did not look good. We'll just say that. They're going to work on him right now, probably try to stabilize that a little bit before putting him on the card and taking him off. But the first-year return man who'd been involved in the offense a little bit had a 32-yard touchdown against Winnipeg last week. Looks like he will be leaving and not returning for quite some time. That's tough to see.
Yeah. He went to brace his fall, and it was the arm for sure. So Calgary Stampeders been hit with some injuries at the receiving core. Cam Eccles played that spot for a while. Brooks was getting his opportunity here
They do have Peyton Logan dressed today to handle some return duties. He's done that in the past.
And Middlemost probably gets some more reps offensively. Cole Tucker will get some more reps. He's rotated into the receiving core.
Yeah, Tucker's got 4 catches already this year. Middlemost hasn't caught a ball yet this season. And then, of course, you got Philpott, Begelton, and Markin Michel. And Clark Barnes, who's had a real nice start to the year, 224 yards for the 24th overall pick in the 2023 draft. Brooks is now sitting up. And they called for the cart right away, and I saw him moving his legs, and I was like, okay, so this is not a lower body injury that requires a cart, but as you can see,
yeah, it's stabilized. And
yeah. Immediate reaction from those around him were calling for the trainers from the sideline.
You see that BC Lion that went in just to say, hey, hang in there, was TJ Lee, who's just now coming off the 6-game injured.
Another significant injury of his own. 24-year-old Eric Brooks being carted off with a significant injury to his left arm. Tough to watch. Great touchdown too last week in that game against Winnipeg, as Jake sort of just laid it up to him right side of the end zone, and he got him behind the defender, made the play on it. It was a big moment for Calgary too, as they were responding in what was a game that kind of just got carried away offensively. So a big loss both on special teams and on offense for the Calgary Stampeders. And they'll wait for Brooks to be carted all the way off the field, and now the game will resume with just over 10 minutes remaining here in the first quarter. Calgary working from their own 34. Mayer, pressure in his face, gets it away down the field, and waiting there for it was Gary Peters, but he couldn't get back to it in time.
Well, a couple of defensive linemen for each team here, just off to a slow start statistically, but playing well. One is Sione Tahema off the edge for the BC Lions, who's still looking for his first sack on the campaign. Ben Haladik in the all-Canadian linebacking corps for BC had 10 tackles when these two teams played early in the season. And in the secondary, as we just mentioned, TJ Lee, one of their leaders and one of the best defensive backs in the league for years now, is back in the lineup.
Excited to be back here with his BC Lions teammates.
Just a great leader back there, a guy who's off, I've said it before, but reminds me of his coach, Ryan Phillips.
Well, BC's done a good job over the last 3-4 years.
Procedure, Calgary, number 67. 5-yard penalty. It will remain second down.
In the fact that they've kept veterans around. They've brought some veterans in, but they've also developed guys in-house on this defense.
Like Patrice
as
Rene,
well.
Yeah, like Patrice Rene, Adrian Green,
as well.
Safety, yeah, and Adrian Green will benefit big time from TJ Lee at halfback.
Manny Rugamba not available today, but that's another guy that's come a long way in the organization. Markin Michel right near the first down marker got hit as he caught it.
And TJ Lee's going to need a couple of these hits. He's the guy who made the tackle here on Markin Michel, and he'll need a couple just to exercise the mental demons that come with coming off an injury, especially one like his, an Achilles tendon, just to play naturally, you know, come out of your break full speed. You got to believe that you can do it and just get rid of those mental demons. I'm sure TJ Lee is in the process of that right now. That was a good tackle in the open field.
Cody Grace from his own 30 directs it towards the far sideline. Williams takes it on the run, just shy of his own 40. There's a flag back by the Calgary 44.
While the ball was in flight, holding, BC, number 45. It's 10-yard penalty, first down.
That'll back the Lions up a little bit. Vernon Adams, a rare 0 for 4 start to this ball game.
Well, very rare.
Yeah, very rare.
Last 4 games, all wins, averaging almost 400 yards a game passing.
Yeah, as a team, well over 400 yards per game over this last stretch. Starting here on their own 27, and they'll start it on the ground. Stanback, he's got a ton of room. Stanback takes it out beyond the 40. Big pickup on first down for Stanback, his first touch of the ball game.
They bring in Andrew Pearson as an extra offensive lineman. He's going to block down, and watch how they just wash down that left side of the D-line for Calgary. That's the lane that Stanback will take. He bounces to the outside. Nice run on first down.
Stanback just 14 yards last week. Now they'll get it into the hands of Mackey, and Mackey powers ahead, and he's got a first down, or close to a first down, for the Lions there.
The other guy that you work with all the time, Dwayne Ford, is a fullback, or was a fullback as well. And I'll tell you, fullbacks have one move. When they get the ball in their hands, they have one move. I'll show you. Watch David Mackey get out here. Big fullback, plays tight end, does some short yardage. The one move is lower your shoulders and go hit somebody. That's your fullback move.
Got him the first down. Lions up to the 53. Stanback again, picks his way to the line this time, and another first down on the ground for the visitors.
That's a good run up the middle. Now this time just kind of changing up how they're using their backs and where they're attacking. The first one was a bounce play for Stanback. Jordan Maximic figuring with an 0-4 start passing the ball. Let's get that run game established and then maybe go to play action from there. This matchup between Jordan Maximic and Brent Montz is going to be interesting tonight.
First time we've seen some momentum in this game for either offense. Adams dumps it off. Is that going to be intercepted? No! Instead, it's caught by Stanback. Oh, that was close. VA maybe getting away with one there.
That's an opportunity a defensive lineman doesn't get very often. But play action to a screen, and Charles Wiley had a chance at it. Ball drills for Wiley. He's got to get with the DBs for at least one practice this week and work on those ball drills. Hit him right in the hands.
Got to work with fellow lineman Clarence Hicks, who actually has an interception already this season. Only a yard when it's all said and done for Stanback. 2nd and 9. Adams looks to his left. Now he's going to throw. Hit as he heaves one down the field. And there's a flag down the field. He was looking for Hollins. Hollins really didn't have a play at it.
Well, you can look at
Pass
Hollins'
interference.
jersey.
Calgary, number 35. Spot of the foul, automatic first down.
Tyler Richardson is playing for Demario Houston on the corner. That was a game time decision. They thought that they may get Houston back in the lineup. They couldn't. He had to be a scratch. So Tyler Richardson, you know that Vernon Adams is going to test him deep. And I was going to mention Holland's jersey ripped off his shoulder pad is a good indication that there was some grabbing and clutching going on.
Tough to hide that one.
Dave Dickinson reaching for that challenge flag, but
not going to do it.
Not going to do it.
The edge of the red zone for the first time today. BC 55.6% efficiency inside that red zone. Stanback pushing ahead. All the way in on the tackle. Big part of this Calgary defense.
Julian Hauser is out. Clarence Hicks will play for him on the defensive line. Mike Rose, by the way, is the other guy still looking for his first sack, which is 3-time perennial All-Star in Rose. I want to watch tonight how Cameron Judge either spies Vernon Adams at times or maybe widens to help out on Justin McInnis. We'll watch that tonight. And Tyler Richardson, as I just mentioned, he's in the lineup for Demario Houston on the corner.
2nd and 4 for Adams from the Calgary 14. looks to his right, throws in that direction, has a completion, and they got a touchdown as he puts it in the hands of Stanley Berryhill, and that is his first Canadian Football League touchdown.
A fastball from Vernon Adams. He had to put something on this because there was a DB coming downhill. I'm not sure what number, but watch how he just rips this out there to the wide side of the field. It was Stats coming downhill. Nick Stats had a crack at it, but Vernon Adams with that fastball to Berryhill, and the Lions' first major of the night.
13th passing touchdown of the season for Vernon Adams Jr. Sean White steps up and puts one through, and the Lions lead 7-0. A 7-play, 83-yard drive ends like this in the hands of Stanley Berryhill.
To the wide field here, and watch the mistake made by Nick Stats when he breaks to the football. It's all about angles here. Number 8 sees the throw. Now he's got to not cut under, not be too high, but go right for the shoulder pad of Berryhill. So if he misses the ball, he actually gets the receiver and makes the tackle. He went too high. That angle was off by about a yard, and Berryhill crosses the goal line.
And it hesitated there briefly too, didn't he?
Well, he thought he was going to intercept it, but Berryhill was in front of him, and the angle was off.
Logan takes this the edge of his own end zone. Returns it out to about the 25 before he is stopped into the game, of course, due to the injury to Eric Brooks earlier this evening. Well, now we wonder, can the Calgary Stampeders keep pace with the BC Lions?
Offside,
offense?
BC, number 44. 5-yard penalty, will re-kick.
They are going to re-kick. Offside against the Lions, 5 yards. So move them back and do it again.
It's early in the game, but this is often tough on the cover team. They just sprinted for 55 yards, made a tackle, and now they got to go back and do it all over again. Actually, it's about 60, 70 yards on the sprint on a kickoff. Catch one guy that's a little winded, and Peyton Logan could find a seam.
Logan waits, this time on the 5 as Flintoff will get set to boot it away again. Logan last time had the backpedal, sort of bobbled it. Good kick again. This time he takes it just inside his own 5. Got back to the 25 last time. This time he's back to the 30, 35, busts through to the 40, and there's some better field position after a 38-yard return for Peyton Logan.
Mentioned Dedrick Mills against the Winnipeg Blue Bombers in that shootout. The loss, 41-37 in that one. But what a great game of offense. 131 yards rushing for Mills. It's the best so far this year for any tailback. And you saw the BC Lions get their offense going tonight with William Stanback. As Calgary go to Dedrick Mills to get their offense some traction.
Mills does not have a rush attempt yet in this game. This time they'll just toss it ahead. And it's Philpott with his first touch of the game.
Dedrick Mills leads in a few of the categories for tailbacks in the league. When you look at the totals, it's a little misleading because there's different amount of games because of the bye weeks. So for instance, the Stamps have played 5 games, the Lions 6. But when you look at average per game, Dedrick Mills leads the way there.
Deontay Evans is down on a knee, getting looked at. Bounces back up. Let's take a look at it.
Just a fly sweep there to Jalen Philpott.
Friendly fire.
Yeah, he gets, often happens. The pursuit is coming from D-line and linebackers, and the DB's on the other side going, well, now this is going to
double the damage coming towards you.
Yeah, exactly.
First touch for Philpott, who feel like they're still sort of ramping him back up after missing most of last season. 2nd and 5. Handed off to Mills, tries to spin it ahead, and he's going to be stopped well short on his first carry of the ball game. That'll bring up 3rd down.
Yeah, I mentioned that Calgary probably wants to try and go to the run game, as did the Lions, to get their offense going. However, this BC defense very good against the run, 3rd in the league coming in, and they beefed up the interior of that D line this year for that reason alone.
Grace hangs this one up there. Williams has to wait. Now he takes it just inside the 10. Picks his way back for a return of about 9 after a 54-yard kick. Got an interesting story for you when EA's involved. When we return to Calgary.
Because of how good Adams and Eastern Washington were. Adams won his 2nd straight Walter Payton Award, which was for the top player in FCS. There were 105 points scored in this game, over 1,000 yards of offense. And guess what? Roberson's team did, in fact, score on every single possession. Adams' team failed to score on just 2 of their possessions. As a result, they lost that game early in their career when the two guys met here when Vernon was with Montreal and Trey, of course, was here. Yeah, Trey chirped him a little bit about it, but since then, they've become very good friends. Also of note, Illinois State, another famous quarterback from there, Kevin Glenn.
You know, you got to have those bragging rights for a little bit, right, Glenn? You got to take advantage of that.
Well, I'm surprised if he doesn't bring it up every time they see each other, for sure. But, you know, and what a great advantage that Roberson has with such an intimate knowledge of the quarterback position, what they see, what they look at, what they're reading. You know, you think about him in college, putting that many points on the board in a big game like that.
It's got to be a major advantage,
well,
right?
Yeah, that's why he has a reputation to get those picks.
David Mackey, short yardage, 2nd and 1, pushing it ahead. And he does have the first down. Mackey been handling short yardage duties for the Lions.
Roberson right now with 3 interceptions coming in, had 1 go through his hands early on in this game and would have had his 4th. He's trying to catch Roland Milligan in Saskatchewan for the league lead in interceptions.
Well, Milligan had 1 go through his hands this weekend, too. Roberson, career high 7 interceptions, I believe, back in 2019, 16 in his career. Watching on is former competitor Vernon Adams at the quarterback position. Hands it off, Stanback barreling ahead right up the middle, and it'll take a couple of Calgary Stampeders to bring him down.
You're going to see a nice block here by Kent Perkins to pull and come around the corner and sort of open up, get a seal block in there for William Stanback. 59 coming around. He's going to see first linebacker. That'll be Alway. He gets the kick out there. Someone gets Judge in the middle, and Stanback squeezes through that hole.
And you're going to open up some space if you can keep Alway and Judge contained for most of the day. Not this time, as Stanback gets wrapped up and taken down almost immediately. Leader, Alway, and others in there.
Well, I'm really interested to see how they play Cameron Judge. Brent Watson has some options here. They could have him spy, which he's done before, did it against Trey Ford last year, has done it against Vernon Adams before, and then he'd be more in the middle. Or they could have him widen to help out with Justin McInnes, because he's in that weak side linebacker, and McInnes and Hollins are usually in the short side of the field. They will move him around, but they're usually in that short side. So however he kind of reacts, right now he's been playing in the box, looking at run first with his teammate Micah Alway.
Procedure, no end. BC, it's 5-yard penalty. We'll repeat 2nd down.
All right, Pearson did not report when he checked in to the game.
Well, he's playing tight end, so he could be a potential receiver, and in that case, he has to report because he's got an O-lineman number.
2nd and 7 for Adams. 3 options out to his left. Looks down the middle. Hollins deep, can't get there. And VA got absolutely popped as he stood in there to heave that one down the field.
Yeah, and it was Brandon Dozier on this hit, but wow, he's taken a couple. And in fact, Vernon Adams on the sideline when the BC defense has been on the field, he's been kind of wincing and like he's been favoring the ribs a little bit, but that is a big one right to the chest.
Stampeders defense, physical start to this ball game. In Calgary, the BC Lions leading the Stampeders 7-0. It's been a rough ride for their quarterback so far.
Well, certainly for Vernon Adams Jr., he's taken some big hits in that very first series, one from Cam Judge, and then there, Brendan Dozier, with that big hit, he's been holding the ribs. You can see him breathing kind of hard on the sideline. We'll keep an eye on that. You know, that one long drive for the Lions is why they have the edge in time of possession in that first quarter. But there's been talk with the medical staff on the sideline for Vernon Adams. A couple of big hits in that first quarter. Now, the last time these two teams played, Stamps went with a lot of blitz, and it actually took the Lions offensively off their game for the first 3 series. There were 3 straight 2-and-outs. And then Vernon Adams started using his legs, started to get outside that pressure, and then was hitting big plays down the field, and that's where Calgary changed their strategy. So that blitz getting to Vernon Adams early again here.
He's looked down the field a couple of times to Hollins. One led to that PI, and then that last one he was hit heavily as he let it go, and there's too much juice on it. Hollins couldn't get there. Flintoff gets us started here in the second quarter. Taken cleanly at the 30, and a little bit of room here on the near sideline for Logan. 45-yard kick. The return's a good one. Logan takes it inside the 40, still going. And Calgary's got instant field position. A flag right at the end of the return, but Peyton Logan doing the job.
It's a low kick, so the cover team for the Lions didn't get a chance to get down there in position, and Logan made him pay for it. He just burst to the sideline. Nice move inside. See what this penalty is. It was right at the end of the play, right near the tackle.
That's what I'm talking about, man. That's what I'm talking about.
Tripping, BC, number 11. It's a 10-yard penalty, first down.
That is Flintoff, the punter.
Well, Flintoff did the right thing. I mean, you don't really expect the kicker to make a tackle on a returner. But what you do want the kicker to do is turn the returner back inside to where the pursuit would be coming. And Flintoff did that, but as he did it, he stuck his leg out. Here he is here. He wants to turn him back inside. I'm not sure he deliberately made a kicking motion there.
Stampeders work from the BC 30. Mayer, Philpott, near sideline. He's got some room. Great tackle at the 15 by Zadig, because it looked like Philpott might have found a way to get home there.
I asked Jake Mayer this week. I was in the middle of the question saying, hey, is Jalen Philpott? And he goes, yes. Big time confidence boost over the last couple of weeks, especially, I mean, we've been seeing it in practice for a while, but after a big play last week versus Winnipeg, his confidence is high.
Jake Mayer has started this game 7 of 8. This time they'll hand it off, and Mills will take it down just inside the 10. Well, next man up mentality here for Calgary with Brooks going down on an injury. It's Peyton Logan who puts them in prime field position. Now can Jake Mayer and the offense take advantage of it?
Been about 65% in the red zone this year.
Second and 5 for the Stampeders. Mayer looks over the middle. That's where he's going to throw. They've got a touchdown. Reggie Beggleton. And the Stampeders are on the board at home.
First of all, the protection excellent for Jake Mayer to stand back there and wait for Begelton to cross the face. You see from right to left. Crosses the face of Patrice Rene, the Sam linebacker. He was the number 3 receiver. Got inside position. And first major off the kick return from Peyton Logan.
We've got an injured BC Lion, which is why we get the whistle here. Jake Mayer, 8 of 9 with a touchdown to start this ball game.
Give me another look at the route here from Reggie Begelton. Just a nice inside route here. This is a trips formation. 3 receivers to the wide side of the field, which means that Sam linebacker, Patrice Rene, is in man-to-man. The safety is too high. Adrian Green looking for the deeper seam routes to help out there. Reggie Begelton has a one-on-one. That's a matchup that Jake Mayer loves to see.
3rd touchdown of the season for Begelton. One of his other 2 came against the BC Lions as well. So 2 touchdowns against BC this season for Reggie. Just 3 plays to cash it in from 30 yards after the Peyton Logan return. Took 1 minute and 19 seconds. So Mayer in the offense wasting no time and not wasting a glorious opportunity.
Well, for Lions fans, that's good news that Vernon Adams is up and getting ready to come on for the leading BC offense after the kickoff.
Paredes knocks it home, and we are tied at 7 in the Week 7 finale on the CFL skid between the Stamps and the Lions. To the Wall of Fame at McMahon Stadium. Should be a great atmosphere here for Wally Buono, shouldn't it?
Well, it's Wally Buono night. Let's just crown it as Wally Buono night, and yeah, we'll have him up here in the booth in the 3rd quarter and a chance to congratulate him personally. All-time winningest coach, Canadian Football League history. Started here in Calgary. Also coached the BC Lions to a couple of championships. 4 in Calgary, 2 in BC.
Only way to do it with the Lions in town. Here's Williams to the 20. Made one man miss. Then he gets wrapped up and taken down. There's a flag just inside the 25 on that return. Adams 4 of 9 for 36 yards. Has himself a touchdown pass, though.
Illegal block, BC, number 32. It's a 10-yard penalty, 1st down.
I would suggest he's off his pace.
A little bit.
Calgary defense doing what they want to do right now. They're riding a little pressure on 2nd down. Seen a couple of 2nd down blitzes.
In their first matchup of the year, Adams was 17 of 29 for 277 and a couple of touchdowns, so somewhat containing him last time around.
Well, the only game under 300 this year was against Calgary.
First and 10 on the 13, goes to Stanback, who's taken down just shy of the 20. Let's send it down to Farhan Lalji for a little update on the weather.
Yeah, guys, the wind turning into a bit of a factor. It's not the November freezing Alberta wind. It's actually a warm tropical breeze, but it's going some. We saw in that 1st quarter, Adams had a wide open Alex Hollins and just overshot him. And then the first play of the 2nd quarter, the Lions had to punt into the wind, and that helped set up a hanging kick, which led to the long Calgary kick return. You also saw a couple of very long kickoffs by Stephen Flintoff earlier in this game when the wind was at his back, so the wind is a factor down here right now.
Something to keep tabs on. Let us know if it changes. Adams, pressure, sidesteps it. More coming, and they'll get him. James Votter's first sack of the season. He just had nowhere to go, did he?
Yeah, you get the assist goes to the secondary and linebackers for coverage, but see the pressure coming up the middle to get. That's where Stanback has to take his block, and then Vaughters gets there with just 2nd effort. But you know, going back to that win for a second, that's home field advantage. Calgary won the toss, deferred to the second half, knowing that wind was going to change sometime in the second quarter.
This kick into the wind. Slices through it pretty well. Logan has to turn. Didn't touch it. Now he's going to slide over and pick it up at the 35. Turns it to the 45 and no further, as a good kick that time from Flintoff. TJ Lee is back. More on his return when we return. Back down to Farhan.
Dustin, this isn't the first time TJ Lee has torn his Achilles. He did the other leg 8 years ago, and he said, back then, I made a lot of mistakes. I wasn't mature enough to deal with it properly. This time, it was completely different, and it began when he got off the plane following the Western Final in Winnipeg. His wife was there, and she said to him, I've already got your first physical therapy appointment lined up. And from there, he took a really aggressive approach to his recovery, and he said it was as simple as being on the ground in our apartment with my daughter who couldn't walk at the time. We learned to walk together. Then his older daughter could actually outrun him. He had to learn how to catch her. He got his wife a Peloton for their anniversary. He wound up using the Peloton. Everyone set limitations around him, and he said that he had a sports psychologist that came to him and said, you're not typical. And he learned that. He talked about all the atypical things he'd done earlier in his career, and he wanted to build on that. He wasn't going to let anyone set restrictions around him. He pushed it. He ran 2 months ahead of schedule, and now he's back in the lineup almost 3 months ahead of schedule.
On for a good chunk of the schedule. He'll be available. Here's Stevens, throws it at the feet. That's on the target, and a flag at the end of the play.
Pete Robertson is going to get called for a late hit on the quarterback here. But, you know, back to TJ Lee, because when you get hurt, family is so important. And I thought just the difference with the family and how he talked to us about, you know, I had to be a leader. I had to be working towards my comeback and show my family and my kids that, you know, you don't have to wallow in
After
self-pity.
automatic review by the
timing was good, but you know, just the family support of that, to have his wife, Mrs. Lee, come out right away, say, hey, I got your physio set up, we're all set up. Like, he was getting off the plane. This was not a weekend.
It'll be third down.
We're setting up how we're going to start the comeback trail. This was right off the plane. She knew the routine. She was ready to go to support him. And
no time to have any other thoughts, right? Don't feel back to work.
Don't feel sorry for yourself. You're leading the family. They're watching, and he did just that. Great to see him back on the field.
So it'll be 3rd and 2. And it'll be Grace coming out to kick it away with the wind at his back. Flag as he boots it. Williams takes it at the 10. Back to the 20. Williams spun around and then taken down just outside the 32 by Randall.
Procedure, no end. Calgary. That penalty is declined. First down.
Well, let's see the physicality Calgary's bringing on defense when it comes to trying to keep Vernon Adams off his mark. That was the first series of the game. That was Cameron Judge. There's another hit from Cameron Judge. And then Brandon Dozier. That was the biggest of the evening so far, and he just missed Alexander Hollins on that one. And he's been doing a lot of that on the bench in between series. But back out there again. So, and really, when, you know, after the first couple of hits, I think that's when it started. The zip on the ball has been there, so it doesn't look like it's affecting his arm strength.
Still just has 42 yards passing very early in the second quarter. Start on the ground again, and stand back taken down immediately. Clarence Hicks, nowhere to go.
He's working on Ken Perkins, the right tackle, and he's going to come off the edge here. There's Perkins right there. Now, that looks like he's trying to get outside and trying to hook him back in so that he can seal the edge and maybe stand back to the corner. But Hicks beats the block, gets in the backfield. Nowhere to go for 31.
A loss of 5, second and long for Adams. Down the field, has a completion, another big hit. But there's a flag, I believe it's a hold. against the Lions.
I think that's going to be on Kent Perkins again. It's the same matchup. Clarence Hicks getting up the field here on this pass rush.
BC, number 59. It's a 10-yard penalty. It remains second down.
This time it's a straight pass rush, and in fact, the Calgary Stampeders just 3 down linemen. They're just going with a rush of 3, so they got 2 on 2, but Perkins gets it around the neck and shoulder pad area of Hicks. He draws the penalty flag.
Boy, McInnes took a pretty heavy shot there at the end. I think he ended up heading over to the sideline. Calgary is just decided to come out and make this a little bit of a back alley brawl. Lowering the boom on a number of Lions so far here at McMahon. 2nd and 24 this time for VA. 4 options out to his left. 3-man pressure. They almost got there again. Another flag. My goodness. Stanback has it, pushing ahead. But this is going to be coming back the other way again. Another hold against the Lions offensive line.
Wow. 10-yard penalty.
Same matchup.
Second down.
It's the same matchup. Hicks, Perkins, and again, watch Hicks get up the field and then try to cut inside, and that's where hands to the face. Perkins goes right to the face mask.
3 straight plays. First, Perkins can't stop him. Hicks gets to stand back for a 5-yard loss, then back-to-back penalties. And now it's 2nd and 34. Calgary will put Hicks aligned with 2 others. Adams, Hollings will try to get some blockers for him, but it will not work. And BC Lions will be forced to kick it away. It was 7.5 to play in the second quarter.
Yeah, got a little room to punt the ball away. And the Lions offensively may have to go and give some help to Kent Perkins. And what I mean by that is either go tight end where they bring Andrew Pearson in.
Pearson beside him.
Or, and that can widen the edge, or bring William Stanback up to help and chip on Hicks.
Flintoff into the wind again. This one only to the 50, no further. Logan stumbles on the return, but takes it back inside the Lions 50 after just a 37-yard kick into that strong breeze here at McMahon. Thursday Night Football presented by the delicious New York Fries is going down next week between the Rough Riders and the Alouettes. Tune in at 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific. Only on a TSN. What a way to start the week.
The other Philpott.
5-1 versus 5-1. That's gonna be a big one. Kick off another great week of action and what's been an excellent, outstanding, highly entertaining season thus far in the Canadian Football League. Jake Maier's already got a touchdown today. He's only got 1 incompletion. And great field position here from the BC 47. Maier. Flag as he throws goes to Mills. Mills is going to have a first down and a little bit more. But the holding parade appears to continue here at McMahon. A bit of a longer conversation this time, but
Face mask, Calgary, number 51. It's 15-yard penalty. We'll repeat first down.
15 yards on this one with the face mask.
That's the center, Sean McEwen. Steps up there, hand high, right across the face mask. Josh Banks, I believe, with a straight bull rush there.
So 1st and 25 is neither team helping themselves with these offensive penalties. Both these teams actually the least penalized teams in the entire league. Maier, wide open. Philpott though has it bounce off his chest, and that'll bring up 2nd and long.
Yeah, it looked like Philpott was trying to turn and think about yak yards before he had actually made the catch. I often see in this case green draw to try to make up some of the lost yards when you got second and a mile.
Mills stands in to the right of his quarterback. And they'll get it out to him in the flat. He's got a little bit of room. Got by one man. Now back to midfield, and a big push gets them back. Just it'll be Grace trotting out here. Would have been asking quite a bit. Been about 60 when it was all said and done there. So Grace will come out to punt it away.
He will be trying to put it in the corner and get it out of bounds.
Williams waits back on his own 10. 7-7. We're tied here on a Sunday night in Calgary. That hangs up there nicely. Comes down at the 5. Williams, not much room. Takes it back out close to the 15 when it's all said and done.
You know, when you do the analytics going into this game and you do the numbers going into this game and you look at what Vernon Adams has done, what Jordan Maksimic with this offense has done, it's the #1 offense in the league at 428.7 yards per game coming in against Calgary, who struggled, giving up a ton of yards. Brent Monson's group has just responded. I mean, I'm sure they have heard all week Vernon Adams pace for over 6,000 yards. Justin McInnis can't be covered. You know, all of this offensive talk from the BC Lions, and the Calgary Stampeders said, yeah, that's the challenge. And they've risen to that challenge so far.
Less than 5 minutes of play in the first half. Hollins has one. Stampeders defense holds strong. Cody.
So football is a game of adjustments, and you just saw the two principals, Jordan Maksimic and Brent Monson. So what is the adjustments that can be made going into the second half? I mean, that's what they've got to figure out. I don't think right now that the linebacking core for Calgary is really doing a whole lot to get into coverage or bailing deep or helping out DBs on Justin McInnis or anything like that. They're playing run first. There was the one series in the first quarter where Stanback did get some yardage on the ground, but beyond that, Brent Monson's group has shut the door.
Yeah, Stanback has 6 carries, including that one he was just stopped on, for 38 yards. At one point, that was 3 carries for 33 yards. So they've even sort of shut the door on that here. Schluger down, getting looked at. And Stanback also has 3 of the 6 passes that Adams has completed. So heavy diet of Stanback, but not much else outside of the Berryhill touchdown. And that was his only catch of the game.
Andrew Pearson comes in for Chris Schluger and will likely play that guard spot.
6th year in the league, all of them with the Lions. 2nd and 9 for VA from his own 15. Adams, pressure coming from behind, gets it away. And that one nowhere near Hollins, who found a little bit of space in front of Roberson, but could not get there. Adams feeling that pressure again, wasn't he?
Yeah, he is feeling the pressure, and this time it was from the right side of the formation here. I think Hicks was involved again. I mean, Clarence Hicks is making a difference. He's going to step up and eat up the block. In other words, he doesn't have to rush. He comes late, but he eats up that block from Andrew Pearson. Pearson stays there, and the pressure comes from outside of Pearson.
Logan awaits this almost on the logo at midfield, so real nice field position possibly in the cards for the Stampeders late in the first half.
Remember, with Andrew Pearson now playing guard, that takes them out of that tight end formation.
BC, number 11. It's a 5-yard penalty. It remains 3rd down.
That TJ Lee is coming off.
Put this at the 10 after the time count violation. And Flintoff now stands in his own end zone. The wind that he's kicking into here tabs on the decision. And he makes it. He lets her fly. Backs up Logan slightly. Takes it at the Calgary 45. Logan looking for the near sideline. And he's got it down to the 40. And the 35 again, which is where close to what they started on their touchdown drive after another sensational return from Logan.
Yeah, a couple of great returns. That one. It just feels like, I don't know if it's the heat. Both teams are playing in the same conditions, but there just seems to be some poor decisions, some grabbing. We've seen a whole bunch of holding calls up on the line of scrimmage, something we just haven't seen all season long. I'm not sure if the heat is affecting those decisions for both teams at times.
3 of their last 4 possessions have started in BC territory. This time Mills pushing ahead down to the 25. That's his best carry of the ball game. You mentioned the heat, 32 degrees at kickoff, and it'll be much warmer down on the field there.
Although a lot of the guys on the roster come from the south, and
just like at home here.
Yeah, it's like a home game for them. I mean, they're coming from Texas or down in California or anything like it.
Now, you live on the West Coast, so I don't know if I need to ask you, heat guy or cold guy. Like, I live in Edmonton usually. I'd rather be able to warm up at minus 20 than deal with the 35, 40 degrees. You know, that's me. I'm a weirdo. What can I say? Inside 3 minutes.
Going into the Wall of Fame. What did you think of the first half, Wally?
Come on, Wally.
Wake it up.
What you got, Wally?
Up.
Talk to us.
I have no idea what's going on back there. But oh, okay, that would make sense. Wally bobblehead. Okay, a Wally head.
Yeah.
Tommy Stevens into the game here. A little Tommy time. 2nd and 1, and the big fella pushes ahead. He's got enough. Looks like it.
Well, that's 15 of 15 for Tommy Stevens this year on short yardage.
Pretty good at it.
Doesn't miss. When you need one on short yardage, which is usually 1, 1.5, 2 in that area, he gets 4.5.
4 touchdowns as well. I mean, you get it 2 yards or closer to the end zone, that guy's going to punch it in. And Calgary looking for their first lead of the ball game as we near halftime at McMahon. Mares 9 of 11 has a touchdown to show for it. Has time, looking towards the end zone. Incomplete. Excellent effort from Philpott working against TJ Lee. He held on to it, but the foot had to have come down out of bounds.
Well, there were 2 routes coming right at TJ Lee, who was in the deep outside third. He was covering a third of the field deep, and there was Mark and Michelle going straight down the seam, and Philpott over closer to the sideline on that.
Oh, just missed it.
Short corner route or deep out route, and does the foot come down? Oh, I don't know. That maintains possession. That looked like there was green in between the toe and the white stripe.
The previous play is being automatically reviewed by
It's automatically reviewed because it's a scoring attempt, scoring play.
That second angle we had straight on sure looked like that foot was in. Here we go. This is the one. Let's get a look at this.
Previous play is being automatically reviewed by command center for a potential score.
I mean, there's green there, isn't there, Suits?
Well, let me do this. Hang on just 1 second. Let's do that. How about that?
Oh, zoom in. That's pretty clear, I think. What a play. What a play by Philpott. Should be his first touchdown of the year. Defended well by TJ Lee, too. I mean, it was a great play.
Yeah, he made a great break on it. And that's what Jake Mayer meant about the confidence level of Jalen Philpott.
Kind of hung up there a little bit, waiting for that to come in. And got that right foot down just in the nick of time. All right, let's find out the official announcement here.
After automatic review, we have a catch inbounds for a touchdown.
is their second 3-play touchdown drive of the ball game. This one for 34 yards. Philpott to the end zone for the first time this season.
Just outstanding concentration from Jalen Philpott. Keep his foot inbounds by what looked like half an inch.
Paredes puts the Stampeders on top, 14-7. Philpott had 3 touchdowns in his rookie season back in 2022. This is his first one since.
TJ Lee right there with him. And he knows, Philpott understands that he has to survive hitting the turf here and not juggle the ball at all. He has to maintain possession as he hits the ground. So there's a few stages here. Catch it first, foot in second, and now maintain possession. He does automatic review. Coach Dickinson does not have to use a challenge there. Two touchdowns for Calgary set up by great defensive play up front by the Calgary Stampeders in their front 7, keeping this field position advantage. The field has been tilted in Calgary's favor in this second quarter.
Yeah, 3 drives. 3 of their last 4 have started on BC's side of the field. 2 of them inside the 35. Calgary Stampeders 2-0 at home and have a lead here in their 3rd game of McMahon.
Plenty of time here for Vernon Adams, but they're going to have to make some adjustments offensively. The one drive the Lions did have, William Stanback was big time involved in that in the run game.
Paredes hammers it away. Williams takes it at the 1. Returns it back to the 30. Still going, tripped up at the 35. And that is where Adams and the offense will go to work with 2:20 on the clock. Very pedestrian-like numbers for a guy who's been at a superstar level so far this season. Just hasn't had a lot of time. Like,
no.
Why does he get comfortably sat in the pocket tonight?
That's what I mean. Full credit to the Calgary front 7. Drawing penalties, too.
McInnes, after having 14 catches last week, still looking for his first one here at the Windy McMahon. 4 options, wide side right for VA. Looks over the middle, throws over the middle, down the field, and that is hauled in. What an effort! Eberhardt goes over the top and brings it in, and just like that, the Lions are in business.
Well, this is Vernon Adams just trusting in Eberhardt to win this battle, because it's covered very well. There's a layer deep routes again, and Eberhardt goes up over coverage. That's Dozier from that Sam linebacker position. Look at that, just up over the top of Dozier, takes it right off the top of his helmet.
12th catch of the year for Eberhardt. Now from the Calgary 42. Lions looking for a quick response. Down the field again. McInnes inside the 15, down to the 11. And his first catch of the ball game is a big one.
This is how quickly this offense can make a few adjustments and get going. They get a big catch by Eberhardt, and now the throwing lane is there, and almost a sidearm chuck in the middle to Justin McInnes. Get him going. Doesn't take long. They can hit that switch very quickly, this offense.
Bang, bang, and Adams is already at 112 yards passing after 2 big ones. 1st and 10 from the Calgary 11 after 63 yards of back-to-back catches. Adams with a flag as he throws towards the corner. Is that hauled in? A discussion from the officials. McInnes watches on. And they'll say incomplete. No. He was out of the back of the end zone.
Well, like the throw for Calgary, this will be automatically reviewed. See what the flag is. That could affect.
Offside, BC, number 18. That penalty is declined.
Doesn't matter.
2nd down.
Well, that was McInnes, but it's declined.
Doesn't matter. they ruled it out of bounds. They rule it in. Obviously, they take that penalty. So it's Lions are not scoring here either way. And he was definitely out of bounds.
2nd and 10. Adams will look to do it again. Other side this time, looking for McInnes again, and that time it falls incomplete. And that'll bring up 3rd down, and Sean White will walk out here looking for his 40th field goal in a row.
Yeah, these 2 kickers here tonight have been so boring this year.
Perfect. Perfect.
Now, there's wind down there. This is a short one, but there's wind down there, and maybe that affects the kicking game a little bit in the second half. But, boy, these 2 kickers have been money.
This kick will give him the 2nd longest streak in CFL history if he's able to knock it home. Just an 18-yard chip shot for Sean White, who's a perfect 21 for 21 on the season. That is up, and of course, it is good. So BC, quick drive, but they put some points on the board and a trail by just 4. Well, don't go anywhere at the half. Kate and the guys will break this one down, and lots to discuss here just in the last 3 or 4 minutes of this football game, Suits.
And we get locked in to watch the ceremony for the godfather of coaching.
Smile on his face. He's happy today, isn't he?
The GOAT, Wally Buono, will be honored at halftime.
Mayer starts it on the ground. Tehema is there on a tackle of Dedrick Mills.
I think of all the interviews we've had over the years with Coach Buono, and through some good seasons, through some winning streaks, some losing skids.
Tehema there jumping through the line.
Offside, BC, number 0. 5-yard penalty. It remains 2nd down.
I think both coaches at halftime here, and if Wally Buono was one of them, would probably be saying the same thing, which is to both teams is, hey, it's hot out. It means you have to focus a little bit more, concentrate and be disciplined a little bit harder. Just make sure you know alignment, assignment, and execution.
BC already has 8 and Calgary has 5. This one incomplete as Mayer tried to lay it out there for Mills working against Lacombo, and that'll bring up 3rd and 2, and Adams is going to get the ball back.
They thought they would get Dedrick Mills wide open out of the backfield on a delayed route like that down the field. Didn't work. He was picked up and covered very well.
Cody Grace slides in, averaging 47.4 yards per punt so far this season, coming into today at least. This one end over end, and that's way out of bounds. That almost went into the stands on the near side of the field.
Now they line up. That's what the wind is doing.
Yeah.
Now that ref is still walking upwards. He's 40-yard line. What was that, a 25-yard punt, something like that? Lots of time for Vernon Adams, at least field goal range is possible.
At the 50 here.
Illegal punt out of bounds. Calgary, number 24.
Also a penalty.
10-yard penalty. 1st down, BC.
So, walked it to the 40, tacked on 10 to the 50, and just like that, VA's got 64 seconds. The ball starts at the 50. He's got a kicker who's made 40 in a row, but any field goal will be into a pretty strong wind here. Something to keep tabs on. 4 receivers to the right for Adams. Empty backfield. Just past midfield.
By formation, Vernon Adams knew where he wanted to go with the ball there because they They put William Stanback way out at wide receiver, and Cam Judge went with him. That means that the Calgary defense is in man-to-man. Quick throw. Success on first down.
2nd and 3. Adams gets it away again, near side. And that time, Eberhardt held on to by Williams, but they do have the first down with the clock ticking.
Timing out. Nice little shake there right at the break by Eberhardt.
Timer, please reset the clock to 48 seconds.
Looked like they let that run down when they shouldn't have.
Timer, please, thank you.
3rd catch of the game for Eberhardt. Leads the team with 45 yards.
Guy who played in college with Josh Allen.
That's okay. From the 47, Adams over the middle, down to the 40, and that's pushed ahead. As for the first time today, he gets it to Boisson.
35 seconds. Take a shot here to the end zone.
Just the 2nd catch of the season for 74.
3 or 4 more plays.
From the Calgary 36. Near side, big hits. Ball pops loose. Hollins had it. Richardson had other ideas.
Really did. This was a case of Tyler Richardson separating the receiver from the ball. I mean, he has it in his hands. He wraps up, and that hit just pops the ball right out of there.
Hollins to the sideline and will not be out there on this 2nd and 10. Stanley Berryhill to the top of your screen. Eberhardt on the near side. Adams steps up in the pocket. On the run now under. First in the Canadian Football League. Will put an end to this late Lions drive.
First quarter, I was talking about what they might do with Cameron Judge. Brent Monson right here is going to spy the quarterback and Vernon Adams with Judge. He's done this before. He sneaks up in the middle. He's not going to blitz or drop back in coverage. He's just there to spy the quarterback. If he takes off and runs, he's going to track him down. That forces the poor throw, the bad decision by Vernon Adams. He throws it into coverage, and right there is Tyler Richardson to rip that down for his first interception of the season.
Richardson in the place of Demario Houston.
BC is challenging the previous play for pass interference. The play will be reviewed.
BC going to use a challenge here for PI to try to keep the ball with 15 seconds. Get a look at this. Now, was it behind Richardson where Eberhardt was kind of jumped on as he tried to catch it? Right there. Campbell pacing the sideline. Let's get a look here.
Richardson's fine. He's playing the ball the whole way, so it would be in behind him. And that contact would have had to happen early. It's right up at the top here.
I think Awe, who is running in step.
Question I have, though, is that Richardson intercepted the ball without being part of that. So if it happened before he caught the ball, then yeah, it could be pass interference.
Are you saying like in the process? If it's
but he
like
caught it already.
Moment, like, yeah.
He caught it already. Well, we'll see what they say.
Are you saying he caught it before Awe grabbed the hip? If that's what it was?
That's what I'm saying. That the timing of it is, to me, probably what they're looking at. Okay, there's Awe and Eberhardt on the crossing route here. Nothing yet. Nothing yet. That turn.
Like a little bit of a turn, a little bit of an embellishment. I'll just say it. All right, this is interesting. Let's send down the field for the official ruling.
After review, the ruling on the field stands. BC will lose a timeout. First down, Calgary.
Yeah, I think without Richardson there, it may have been called on the timing, but Richardson
Wasn't a lot anyway, even before that.
It wasn't a lot.
2nd and 15, or 1st and 10, sorry. Mayer, he's going to heave one down the field. That's up for grabs, and it falls incomplete. As Calgary, with the wind at their back, decided to just throw one down to Reggie Begelton with 8 seconds on the clock.
Right around that tip was TJ Lee. He was closing in on it fast. There's number 6 in your screen. He sees this might turn up. Oh.
Just the 4th incompletion of the game for Mayer. Second and 10. This time they'll hand it off. Mills. Three seconds on the clock.
Well, now you get to the tablets. Halftime, you go look at what exactly, if you're Vernon Adams, you're looking at what exactly Calgary's doing defensively. A couple of late spies on Vernon Adams. That one we saw that Cameron Judge tracked him down, forced that interception throw.
Final play of the first half, and the Calgary Stampeders on the Jake Mayer knee will head into the room at home with a 14-10 lead over the BC Lions. They've got to be ecstatic with that opening 30 minutes.
Well, their defense has played very well, setting up great field position, and that's allowed the offense to put together half-field drives. Jalen Philpott building off his game in Winnipeg.
His first touchdown of the year was a highlight reel, as right in front of TJ Lee, he hauls it in, and now he's with Farhan Lalji.
Jalen, I know you've been anxious to get into the end zone. Did you know when you caught it you were in?
I know I got a foot down. I had no idea if it was inbounds or not, but I just know to get a foot down whenever that ball's in the air. So training helped out. So
you guys are under 100 yards offensively right now, but you've had a lot of short fields. How much is what you've done in the first half, really all 3 phases coming together?
Yeah, exactly like you said. You know, when we came in this game, we knew we needed to dominate it on all 3 phases. Offense, we got to put some more work in, but defense is doing awesome right now. They're saving us. Special teams, punt returns, they're doing awesome right now, so we just got to play a full 60 today.
Jalen, thanks for this.
Appreciate it.
Saskatchewan, Calgary right now with almost half the yardage of the BC Lions, but they
Action coming up. The Calgary Stampeders leading the BC Lions 14-10. Lions offense got to get going. Farhan Lalji standing by with Justin McInnes.
Justin, you've had some big first halves in the last couple of weeks. What was Calgary doing differently to take you out of that one?
Absolutely nothing. We were out there beating ourselves. You know, I went offside, a lot of mistakes, a lot of penalties. We just got to execute at a higher level and like our chances.
How much of a factor has the heat been so far in the second half? You'll still be in it, facing it, versus Calgary that'll be in the shade here.
Yeah, I mean, that's nothing. That's just football. It's adversity. It doesn't matter. We're here to play a football game. We don't care about the heat. We just got to go out and get this win.
Thanks for this.
Thank you.
Well, what a halftime ceremony. Everybody was just locked in watching that. And the list of accomplishments just went on and on and on. And eventually, banner was dropped, and you saw Wally Bono Builder.
Two with the Lions. And what a great video tribute. Heard from Doug Flutie on the video tribute. It was an outstanding halftime. Congratulations to Coach, and hopefully we get him up here.
He's going to try to make his way up to us, but it's going to be, I mean, good luck. Good luck. We're hoping to connect with him at some point here in the third quarter. Hayden Logan, who's had a couple of nice returns, remains back there with Eric Brooks leaving the game in the first quarter with an injured arm. It's been Logan ever since. He's done a pretty decent job. A couple of good returns have got them into pretty solid field position, which has led to touchdowns. Flintoff gets us going, and the second half is underway. Look at that ball hang up there. Logan takes it, picks his way through and out beyond the 40 before being pushed out of bounds.
Well, take a look at Jake Maier's numbers. They weren't jumping off the page by any stretch of the imagination, but his completion percentage high, couple of touchdowns. But keep in mind, there hasn't been a lot of yards simply because of the field position the defense has provided. I mean, that BC Lion offense was hurting themselves with a ton of penalties, going backwards at times, and the field was really slanted in Calgary's favor.
No interceptions.
Yeah, no,
right? Two
no
touchdowns,
picks.
no interceptions. Calgary will have the win here in the third quarter. 21 of the 24 points scored in this game coming with the wind at their back. Pretty strong wind going right to left on your television screen. A completion there from Jake to get things started. He goes back to Philpott, who had one of the 2 touchdowns for Calgary in the first half.
Just great to see Jalen Philpott kind of living up to expectation. I mean, we all know he and his brother were going to be great players in the league. And he had some injury issues that he's fought through.
5th overall pick in 2022. Brother lighting it up out east as well. And, you know, Jalen's got that in him here as well. To the 40. Jake Maier moving the ball quickly. This time he gets it to Cole Tucker for the first time today.
Moving the ball quickly and moving safety Adrian Green one way and then going back the other. Watch Jake Maier. He stares down the safety, goes back, and then flips his shoulders around to go right over the middle.
We've got some more flags here. The 2 least penalized teams in the league have just been hammered with the laundry so far today.
I think it was 16 in the first half total. Tell me we're not on pace for 32 penalties tonight.
Dial that back a bit, I would hope.
Well, you know, both teams addressed it. I mean, that's what Justin McInnes was saying to Farhan on the sideline, that clearly Rick Campbell said, guys, offensively in a couple of drives we went backwards with 3-4 penalties in a row. We got to get back to concentrating.
Offside, BC, number 24. It's a 5-yard penalty. It remains first down.
And being disciplined.
Patrice Rene caught that time. And that'll be 1st and 5 now for Maier from the BC 33. Their 2 touchdown drives starting from right in this range. Maier, 3 options out to his right. He's in trouble and he's taken down. Heavily taken down to Hema. First sack of the campaign in style, I'd say.
Inside move here on Eric Smith, the rookie playing left tackle, and he's going to come inside him here and get home. Just straight power and speed. Watch the step up field, rip that right arm underneath Smith and get right to Jake Maier. No time to set up and throw there. That's the first of the season for Siona Tehama. He's been playing well, but I highlighted him in the lineup simply because the numbers haven't been there.
First sack of Maier so far tonight. Now they'll run a little bit of a draw. Ooh, another big blow. They give it to Philpott. Pete Robertson there to lower the boom.
He drops back at the linebacker spot, so they're switching things up there to try and maybe make the blocking schemes a little bit trickier. But watch the, there's a big hit. It's a D lineman coming downhill.
Oh, and then Josh Banks following it up, sending Philpott back the other. In a row, going back to last year, 16 for 16 this year, and that one is up with the wind at his back. No problem there. And Calgary once again leads by 7. Paredes, perfect.
Was a couple of completions for Vernon Adams Jr. late in that first half, but early on, first quarter, he took a pounding. Couple big hits from Cameron Judge. Brandon Dozier on a delayed blitz just tattooed him, and he had a rough go in the first half. We'll see what adjustments this offense makes in the second.
136 through the air, touchdown and an interception. Went over the hands of Eberhardt, and Berryhill was waiting. Just shy of a first down.
That was in front of Tyler Richardson, who has a first half interception, playing for Demario Houston at that wide side corner. And late in the first half, that's exactly where Vernon Adams went, 3 or 4 plays in a row. Either Eberhardt, Barry Hill, or Hollins.
Mackey in the game, short yardage, takes it around the end and pushes it home for the first down. And BC close to midfield here on their first possession of the second half. McInnes targeted 5 times in that first half, only able to haul in one of them. Was a big one for 31 yards late in the second quarter. That gets picked up. Adams now steps around it, and VA's going to take off in the run. He'll get to the 50 and then slides out of bounds at the 46 with everybody bearing down on him.
That goes under the category of a really good decision by Vernon Adams to get to the sideline. The guy that was bearing down and was closest was Micah Awe with a full run. First of all, that blitz from Dozier was picked up nicely by Stanback, but Votter's chasing, and there's Awe, and that's a real good decision.
That's a guy
Vernon
who's
Adams.
taking some punishment already in this game, isn't it? Mackey, short yardage again. Keep this drive alive. Stumbles a bit. Like he had enough, and that'll be a first down for the Lions once again with 5 minutes gone here in the third quarter.
No, I'm all for the short yardage idea with Mackey. I think it's a good idea. It takes a hit away from Vernon Adams. The only issue with it is, unless he can throw the ball,
there's no threat of that ever.
Exactly.
Yeah, I guess the odd time.
Well, you want
Tommy Stevens would do. You know,
exactly.
Like, yeah, that's a good point. First and 10 from the Calgary 44. Stanback takes that, pushes it ahead, found a little bit of space. He's got a first down, rumbling all the way down inside the Calgary 30. And Stanback probably been their best weapon so far this evening.
Well, he really kick-started that offense in the first half with their touchdown drive. He got it going just with runs just like this one. And you can get Kent Perkins, the tackle, out on the second level onto the linebacker and Micah Awe. You got a chance for a running play, and that's what happens there.
Fresh set from the Calgary 28. Nice start so far for the third quarter in the BC Lions. Adams, oh, nice move. Another one, he's bouncing all over the place. VA doing a little dance, and then finally takes it down to about the 25. He took a little bit of a pop right at the end there. Couldn't find anything down the field, though, could he?
He's explaining right now to his receivers, reminding them about the scramble rules. If you have a short route in I scramble, you turn it up and go deep. If you have a deep route in I scramble, you turn around and come back towards me.
A few guys zigging when he wanted them to zag. Leaves them in 2nd and 7. So he got 3 yards, creative 3 yards there from Adams. No work from the Calgary 25. 5 options out to the right. Looks to the left. Going up and getting it. Taking a hit at the end of the play was Barry Hill. But he gets the first down. The Lions continue to march.
William Stanback was the 5th going to that side of the field, and right on the inside, 4 receivers out, 3 more outside of Barry Hill, and then Stanback makes the 5th, and they cross all the way to the empty side of the field. So see him flash open immediately, and then the safety coming downhill to make the hit.
Bentley Sanders closing quickly there on Barry Hill. Heads off for a breather. 1st and goal from the Calgary 9. BC looking to tie this football game. Adams fakes the handoff. Now goes over the middle. That's close. Touchdown, BC. Justin McInnes gets just enough. And the Lions pull within 1.
This guy is so tough to cover. His catch radius so wide. I mean, he is well covered. How do you cover any better than Nick Stats does there? I mean, he's all that reach to separate him from the defensive back, and it's just almost impossible.
He does a phenomenal job to not have those knees touch.
Yep.
Like that. And find the end zone, and oh, we got a good one brewing on Sunday here. Sean White smooths it home, and we are tied at 17. It's an 8-play, 70-yard drive. That took less than 5 minutes.
Played for the Stampeders. You got to be a pretty lucky coach to have those kind of players.
And you got to take some credit for some of those players, don't you?
Well, I take some credit that I coached them, but you know, obviously our scouting department, led by Roy Shivers, brought a lot of those guys in, and you know, the philosophy was then we were going to find our own guys, and Roy did a great job of that. And you know, coaches like John Huffnagel and you know, Tom Higgins and all those guys, you know, we molded them into a very good football team.
Yeah, Suits and I were talking about it on the way over here when we were driving from the hotel today, and I wanted to ask you, establishing what you established here, how challenging was it to go and do the same thing with another organization?
Well, it wasn't as challenging as everybody thinks, because you know the template, right? And you know, we had great coaches and we had great players, and we had a great owner, and Bob Ackles, you know, being the great football man that he was, had confidence in his football operations, and you know, you just went about your business.
Coach, when you think about this being the ultimate team game and all the people that you've worked with, we put together a list of Hall of Famers. Look at this, Coach. Hall of Famers that you've worked with and been part of the beginnings of their career, the start of their journey. That's page one.
There's more. There's more coming.
There's another page. This is coaches and different people, players. I mean,
well, you know, that talks to what I talked about. You know, to win championships, you got to have great players. To build a dynasty, you need to have great players, and we did that.
I also want to ask you about how important family is through this entire, especially as a coach, in the hours you have to put in. I know that's something you're very proud of with your family.
Well, that's something you said at halftime, actually, right? Like, you're so committed and busy coaching. Family takes a little bit of a sacrifice.
Well, it does, you know, and my philosophy always was, and my family, God bless my wife Sandy, was great about understanding what my priorities are, and not that I loved them less or loved them more, but she knew that you know, I had to spend my energy and time on football, but I also did family. But then once the off season came, you know, my number one priority was making sure my wife and kids were, you know, well taken care of.
Coach, when I think about the quarterbacks that you've worked with, Dave Dickinson down on the sideline here being one of them. Just watch this throw. Down on the field being one of them. But Jeff Garcia, Doug Flutie, all the great quarterbacks. I know you taught them a lot about the game, about the Canadian game, taught them how to win here. What did they teach you?
Well, obviously, the thing they taught me is that when you have great talents, they got to be coached. They got to be taught the game of the Canadian Football League. And, you know, and they were great students. They had great pride in their work. And when we gave them opportunities, they always succeeded because they were prepared. You know, the Dave Dickinsons, the Jeff Garcias, the Henry Burrises, the Travis Lulays, the Mike Riley, all those guys. You know, we prided ourselves in giving the quarterback an opportunity. And when that opportunity came for him to play a real game, he never let us down. And, you know, that was part of their preparation. And, you know, we always felt that, you know, that was going to pay dividends for us.
I got one more that I asked Warren Moon. I'm going to ask you in sort of the same way, because it's a tricky one, because I think that it's kind of like saying what your favorite child is, and that's not fair.
He's not asking you what your favorite child is.
But is there one Grey Cup that stands out more than the others?
Well, you know, I've said it all the 5 Grey Cups I won as a coach, they're all very, very special for whatever reason. And, you know, obviously in 2011, 1-6, we have the great run, then we play in BC Place, it's packed. You know, that was very special. But, you know, I'm not going to say that 206 wasn't special too, because we had such a great team. And then you look down here in 1992, Doug Flutie, Alan Pitts, all the great players. You know, they are all special. But, you know, 2 big guys, Thomas Raham and Fred Childress, brought the team together. and said, hey, we need to cut out all this garbage that's going on, and we need to get going and play football. And we did, and we ended up winning the championship.
Wally Buono with us here in the booth on a special night in Calgary. And, you look at one of the things that we want to talk about as well, your list of accomplishments, but you see the players that went on to have so much success. How much pride do you take in that? Because you speak about it a little bit like a proud father of a lot of these guys.
Well, I am, and it's all part of the culture that you build. The players have to, first of all, they got to respect you and they got to trust you. And once you get their trust, there's no limit to what you can accomplish. Players want to be treated fairly. They want to treat it with respect, but they also want to know that they're going to be able to win, because all of them ultimately do want to win.
Is that one of the most challenging things, earning that trust initially?
Well, yeah. And the thing about it, once you get the reputation of trust, it's like when I went to BC in 2003, your reputation precedes you. Mm-hmm. So therefore, you're not necessarily having to prove yourself. You just have to get to learn the players, learn how you deal with them, learn how you, get them excited about what they're doing. And they understand that you're going to bring in a winning environment. And that's a big plus.
Coach, I know you're still watching the game.
I watch all the games.
I know you do.
Can't get away. It never will.
I know you do. And that's why I want to ask you, because right now, at this point in the season, 75% or something like that of our games have gone to the final 3 minutes.
Or the last minute.
Exactly. The very last second. That's our game,
but that's what's great about our game, is the fact that, it's very competitive. It's very, very entertaining. And it's very exciting. And, the thing, like you said, the quality of play this year has been outstanding. The thing that I'm also very impressed with is the quality of our kickers.
Yes.
It is unbelievable. I mean, I was a punter, and I thought I had a good average at 40 yards. Yeah, so, that's what I'm talking about. Right? It's exciting football, and it's all game long, and the last 3 minutes are double exciting because of the fact that the importance of the time in the game.
And, I know we love the stories of all the Americans that come to our league, and some of them stay in our country, but this is Jalen Philpott. Our Canadian receivers are playing so well this year. Lots of Canadians in every different position. You were part of that with Andrew Harris, though, giving him an opportunity to be a starting tailback.
Well, you know what? In today's CFL, there is no Canadian position, American position.
Right.
Okay, you pick, when they all come, I always said you all come, you're either a Stampeder or a BC Lion. You're no longer a UBC Thunderbird or an Eastern Washington Eagle. You're a guy trying out for the football team. And, today the talent of the kids, and I hate the term Canadian.
Yeah, no, I get it. I get it. We can drop it now, really.
Yeah, there's great football players out there.
Right.
The position doesn't necessarily indicate what you should or you shouldn't be, and it's great to see the fact that whether it's a DB, a receiver, a running back, a punter, a returner, there's so much talent going on right now in football. And part of that is, the other day I live in South Surrey, and I'm going to the ballpark, and there's thousands of kids and parents playing flag football. Okay, and I'm saying to myself, this is why these kids, when they grow up, they're talented. They got tremendous skills, and it's unbelievable to see that.
Well, the flag football is going to be in the Olympics at some point. And I know a lot of people in the country will roll their eyes sometime when I say, hey, Canada, Team Canada in the flag football in the Olympics is going to be a very good team.
Well, again, my grandson plays flag football. They go to the States and play in Seattle. And you know what? They compete. They win a lot of games. And at the end of the day, you don't know which team is from Canada and which team is from the U.S.
There you go.
My son actually starts flag football camp tomorrow for the first time. Any tips, Coach? Here's Mayor far side. Calgary marching here.
Oh, yeah, so it's great. It's a great game. And great skill out there, but big skill.
Another timing throw from Jake Mayer there, who took over for Bo Levi Mitchell a few years back, and I think playing some great football here. I'm sure you saw a lot of that as well. Not just tonight, but throughout the season. How hard is it to like? I know you're here being honored by this team, but
well, I don't cheer for anybody.
Okay.
When I watch the games, I watch the game as an ex-coach who feels the joy of the victory, but also feels the agony of the loss. You know, so from that point of view, I don't really care who wins, doesn't. Yeah. I'm not going to make more money. I'm not going to not be fired. Okay, but I do have friends on all the teams, and you know, when I watch that, you know, I want to see people be successful. I want the players to play well. I want the coaches to coach well, because it just makes our game what it is.
Can you sit back and actually enjoy it, or is the coach inside still going, well, what are they calling that for? Why would you do that?
Are you saying, do I anymore?
Here's Mary. He's going to hand it off. Little spin move by Mills, and he'll be stopped just shy of the end zone as time ticks down here in the third.
You know, when I came to Calgary, obviously, I was an assistant coach, and then I got the honor and the responsibility to be a head coach. And, you know, our #1 job was to build a team that would beat the Eskimos.
Yeah, that was it, eh?
That was it. We didn't care about nobody else. And not that we disrespected anybody else, but we had to build a team that when we went up north, we would take care of business. And we did that.
3rd and goal from the 2, and the tackle is made just shy of the end zone.
TJ Lee, the veteran.
What a way to end.
Might be a first down.
What a way to end the quarter.
Coach, we were trying to beat you and Doug Flutie. Hey, congratulations.
Thank you.
On a great day. Well deserved. You're the GOAT, my friend.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate you guys. Yeah. You guys do a great job of making the game what it is, bud.
Congratulations on an awesome day. Calgary Stampeders that close, but we're tied at 17 after 3 quarters. They did take another look at that last catch by Mark Michel, but he did not break the plane. So it's a turnover on downs. BC line. Remarkable finish. The Calgary Stampeders, all 5 of their games this season have come down to the final 3 minutes, and I think 4 of 6 for the Lions as well.
Yes,
so.
Absolutely. And what a tackle by TJ Lee on 3rd down to recognize what Calgary was trying to do offensively and cut him off and get there in time to make a tackle that didn't allow Calgary to cross the plane. That's a biggie.
The good news for VA here is that he's got the entire field to work with. This drive starts on the BC 1. Fakes the handoff, turns, has some time, escapes, but there's a flag on the play, and that's all the way down the field. And if this is holding, which it was in the area of a hold,
it's a safety.
And Calgary would have a safety here.
Yeah, Calgary would get the ball back. It's 2 points. If it's a holding against BC, it's 2 points.
Cam Judge is singling a safety right now. And this would be something.
While the ball was in goal, we have holding BC, number 62. By rule, it is a safety for Calgary.
Lions will have to kick it off to them. That's the center, Tyler Packer, who gets the call in the end zone. So Vernon Adams, he's in the end zone. He throws his man to the ground. That was Joshua Coatney. No question that's a holding penalty. And
quarter here as Calgary now goes on top, 19-17.
Let's go back to that TJ Lee tackle. Show you that again. We were talking to the greatest of all time in the coaching department, but just the tackle and to pull his body past Mark and Michel there so that he could pull him without letting him cross the plane. Just a veteran move from number 6.
Hasn't missed a beat.
But that Calgary defense responds. They're down with BC backed up on the 1 and generates 2 points and will get the ball back to their offense. So This Calgary defense is playing their best game of the season tonight.
This Calgary defense came into the game allowing the most yards, the 5th most points. But they have battled hard here against the BC Lions so far in this one. Flintoff kicks it away. Logan waits, takes it cleanly at the 15. Now up to the 30, 40, 45 in a pile. And decent field position once again for Jake Mayer, who's 3 yards shy of 200 on the evening.
Yeah, the field position game and challenge for both these coaches has been won by Calgary, and it's part of that is Peyton Logan for sure, but it's also the defense generating those losses, whether it's drawing a penalty from the O-line. We've seen that 4 or 5 times tonight. Pushing them back one way or another, and Jake Mayer gets good field position once again.
Lions have won 5 in a row, looking to make it 6 here in Calgary. And that one, Mills, nowhere to go. Marcus Moore all over him. It's a small loss on the play.
Deontay Evans had left the game with an injury. He's back.
There were just 3 possessions between the 2 clubs in the 3rd quarter. Calgary had the ball for 12 minutes. So this BC defense has been on the field for quite a bit. Marco Michel puts on the brakes, tries to spin it back up, but he'll be stopped. Probably a long 2 away from a first down. And
yeah, decision time for Dave Dickinson here, because he's got a guy that he is confident they can get to in Tommy Stevens.
They might leave Jake out here.
And if they leave him out here, it's full 2 yards. But this is how the Lions, with a stop here, can get that field position advantage turned.
Jake Mayer 3rd and 2 on his own 54.
Trying to draw him offside. Might not even snap it.
Doesn't look like it.
Take the time
count violation. Calgary, number 12. 5-yard penalty. It remains 3rd down.
They're going to kick anyway, so they'll take the time count, see if they can draw the Lions offside and get a free 5 yards. We've seen that many times in both leagues.
I think with the way your defense has been playing in the field position.
No question.
I mean, this is by far the play. I mean, even Tommy Stevens, the long 2 there. No need to at this point.
And you play the field position game that they've been doing.
Grace lets it go from the 38. Comes up there. Williams takes it at the 35. No yards as he tries to kick it to the outside. Trailing by 2.
Yeah.
After the kick, because they tried to sort of sky it, wind factoring in as well. It's a difference of 6 yards. BC's going to start this ball on their own 50.
Good field position for the Lions. Let me explain. So Dave Dickinson on 3rd and 2 decides not to gamble and go for it there with a short yardage quarterback. So he goes with the sky kick, and right up here at the top of your screen is an onside player. So the idea here is just kick it high, let it hang in the wind, and you have an onside player that can recover it. But they ended up getting a no yards call, and the net on that punt was 6 yards. So at the end of it all, Dickinson could have really gone for it on 3rd down. Because even if he didn't get it, they're in the same place, the Lions.
Now they're smack dab at midfield. Great explanation. 2nd and 5. Adams, deep shot down the field. Pass interference. Heaving it up for McManus.
I think the reputation of number 18 preceded him on that play, because coverage by Rodney Randall was pretty good down the field. I mean, you're talking about inside shoulder, inside leverage, step for step, not bad, and then panic hits.
Yeah.
He could tell by the look of McInnes that the ball was on its
Pass
way.
interference.
Grab
Calgary,
that jersey.
number 27.
Way ahead of the ball arriving. I mean, there's no question on the interference. I just think the reputation of 18 this season and what he's done on the field
got to Randall.
It got to him.
Yeah. All the way down to the Calgary 17 as BC looks for a lead. Adams out to his right. Escapes momentarily. Gets a couple of yards before he's taken down at the Calgary 15.
Going with a big unit there on offense to bring in David Mackey at tight end, and now they're going back to the receiving set on 2nd and long. Brent Monson going to bring pressure. Often teams will do that down here. That means man-to-man for whoever's covering McInnes. It looks like it's going to be Kobe Williams.
Adams needs 9 more. They are going to bring some pressure, so he's on the run, trying to get away from Dozier. Sends it to the end zone. No! Incomplete. Too much for Boisson. And that'll bring up 3rd down.
Boisson coming from the backside of the formation and then across the face down the field of Malcolm Thompson, the safety. And absolutely no incidental contact, no trip, just a misthrow on the run.
So Sean White will come out. He hit his 40th in a row already. And that is up and through. He remains perfect on the season. BC Lions at halftime. Here's Dave Dickinson with a funny story about both of them.
Good story with Huff. Wally would try to get involved in the offense, and Huff, he's been wearing hearing aids for a long time, and he would just act like he couldn't hear. So, and Wally certainly, when you say, let people work, Wally's got a strong opinion, and he's done it right for a long time. But
just pretend you couldn't hear him.
I could just, and Coach Hufnagel, I still call him, I will forever call Wally Buono Coach. It's just, it's This is a nice kick. Doesn't feel too a ton of times that Hufnagel did the exact same thing with us.
Yeah?
Yeah, oh yeah, just nodding his head like, but pretending not to hear us.
Markin Michel with the catch here. We'll give you another look at it.
Yeah, he's got some space here. And I'll just take a look and see, because that's a pretty good duo on the short side of the field with Gary Peters playing corner and now TJ Lee playing high. But Peters jumps that short route, gets snugged up on it a little bit, and that opened up Markin Michel between the sideline and the hash.
Long way to go in this game, but it would seem fitting if it came down to Paredes and White at the end of this one tonight. Neither guy has missed yet this season. Mayer. Barnes makes one move, now another. He's going to take it down to the 10. At the 5, it's TJ Lee with another touchdown saver. But Clark Barnes explodes up the middle.
Basically get it out there behind the line of scrimmage almost. You get a block up here, a block right here. That seals the linebackers. Now you got to make one miss. It's either a DB or a safety. There's the miss by Clark Barnes. Cuts inside of Adrian Green, and away he goes. Good block there on the kick out. I think it was Cole Tucker who made that first one.
First catch of the game for Barnes goes for 40. Calgary knocking on the door again. Mayer gets it away. Has the completion. Has a touchdown. Right back to Barnes. And he finds the end zone. And the Stampeders climb back on top.
Fitting. Lots of good time to throw this one for Jake Mayer. That first contact looked like the ball had crossed the plane there. It didn't matter. Barnes in the second effort finds the end zone. Back-to-back big plays for 14.
Third passing touchdown of the game for Jake Mayer, who's 22 of 26.
They're going for 2.
And now they'll go for 2 more. Back 3 options to that wide side for Jake. Looks to the right, throws to the right towards the corner, and it falls incomplete. The lead will remain at 5. Against the Lions, 276 yards, and this one, his 3rd touchdown to Clark Barnes.
Jalen Philpott will get the assist on this touchdown from Clark Barnes right there. There's Philpott. He's going to run the corner route, and he's going to draw 2 defenders, 2 veteran halfback corner, and Gary Peters right here. He goes back and falls back under Philpott and creates that space for Clark Barnes to run the bang route back outside, and just a little late to get there is Gary Peters. 2 Canadian receivers, although coach said they're just great players.
They're just players. 2nd touchdown of the season for Barnes. It's a big one. Calgary's on top by 5. 8.5 to play. Williams on the return takes it out to about the 36 before he is stopped, and Vernon Adams gets the ball back.
Now that 2-point convert miss, right decision, I would think, from Coach Dickinson to go for it. Didn't get that on the coverage by TJ Lee on that last one, so Vernon Adams with a major can retake the lead here.
Both these offenses starting to heat up a little bit. He's at 170 yards through the air so far. Working from his own 36. 4 options out to the right. Looks over the middle. That's where he throws, and it falls incomplete. Oh, they're going to call a flag here as McInnes was working against Bentley Sanders. We'll get another look at it, obviously. Both guys kind of dove for it. Dickinson's already got the challenge flag out.
Spot of the foul, 1st down.
Dave Dickinson's taking a long look at this. It's up to the right corner of your screen. Ooh. Sanders is there a little early, but it's hard to see how much contact he's making. Are they both diving for the ball, or is Dave Dickinson going to challenge that?
He's challenged it. It has been thrown. He's not happy. We'll have to get a few more looks at it. It looked like McInnes sort of wanted, like, was he tripped up or was he diving himself to get to that ball?
Calgary is challenging the previous ruling of pass interference. The play will be reviewed.
Well, if Sanders made contact trying to go through McInnes to get to the ball, then it
big moment in this ball game.
We'll give you another look at it here from a top angle. There they are right there. Now the question is, does Sanders make contact and impede Justin McInnes to the ball or to his route? He can't go through the receiver to get to the ball. So he's definitely there early. It's just hard to tell. On the field, it has to be clear and obvious.
Yeah. You lean towards this one standing?
Well, it just depends on if they can. Call on the field is a penalty for pass interference.
Dave had his flag ready to go almost immediately.
See, and the angles that they see down there, and this is something that I think frustrates them, is that, you know, he may have saw and thought, no way, there was enough contact. But unless there's a replay that actually shows that now, it really is irrelevant.
Just under 8 minutes left in this game. A big ruling. Here it is.
After review, the ruling on the field stands. It'll be first down BC. Calgary will be charged with a timeout.
Ruling on the field stands. Calgary now has 180 yards in penalties in this game. Came in averaging just 6 penalties a game. Same with BC. They're combined well over 20 tonight. A little sloppy out there. First and 10 from the Calgary 50 here. McInnes will move over in the slot to the right of VA. He's got 2 other options out there as well. They'll hand it off. Stand back up the middle for a good chunk on first down before the tackle is made.
Well, this Calgary defense has found a way to contain. I don't think you stop a guy that is hot as Vernon Adams was coming into this game. He was on pace for 6,609 yards. The record is Doug Flutie at 6,619 yards.
10 yards shy.
10 yards shy of a CFL record. That was his pace coming in. He's well below that pace right now.
Second and 4. He's going to look for more yards here. Down the field. Eberhard missed him. Sucking behind Sanders, the safety. But it falls incomplete.
Yeah, and I'm not going to give Vernon Adams an alibi here, but he has time. He's picked up the blitz, and we've seen him all year make this play, make this throw. I think that win that Farhan talked about in the first half took that football and sailed it past Eberhard because he had time to set up. He had time to look at it, drop it in there, and I think the wind took it.
It is a strong wind, and Sean White will roll out here for a 52-yarder. This will be his longest of the season to keep his streak alive. Straight away from 52 with the wind at White's back. Automatic does it again. Sean White with a deep shot. Lions only down by 2. More signs the merrier, man.
Drove from Sask to see our Lions roar.
That's blasphemous in Saskatchewan.
There's someone living in Saskatchewan that is not cheering for the Riders? Okay.
I don't believe you. 6.5 minutes to play here. Calgary gets the ball back. They lead 25-23. Tehema trying to push his way through. Mayor's in trouble, trying to escape. And he cannot. They'll take him down. Tehema having himself a night.
He's coming off the edge from off the line of scrimmage. See, the tackle's being, basically paused and stopped right there at the line of scrimmage, and Tehema hits him on the run. I mean, he's almost flat-footed. Trayvon Tate at right tackle. And when you come from 2 yards off the ball, it's almost not fair.
2nd and 17 on the second sack of the game for Tehema. Empty backfield for Mayer. Dumps it over the middle to Begelton. Can Begelton make some magic? Not this time. Spun down at the 40, and that'll bring up 3rd and long for the Stampeders, and Cody Grace will be forced to kick it away once again.
Oh, Pete Robertson there, then the play where he's going to rush the passer, get up the field by 4, 5, 6 yards, and then redirect and get back and catch Begelton from behind. I mean, I'm telling you what, there are some world-class speed athletes and guys that are big players. I mean, he's 6'3", 250.
Doesn't move like it, does he?
It doesn't move like it.
Must have a lot of muscle. Get back there quickly. Make that play. Grace now. Williams. BC's going to get the ball with that wind at their back here in the 4th quarter. Good kick though into that wind. It's going to back Williams way up. Has to go back to the 15. Now he turns it up the field. Terry Williams picking his way out to the 40, 55-yard kick. But an excellent return from Williams. It's time to set the tone and give him the lumber. Don't miss all new episodes of the hilarious and hard-hitting comedy sensation Shoresy. Stream now, only on Crave. 4:41 remaining. Vernon Adams, 14 of 26, 170 yards, 2 touchdowns, and an interception. Trailing by 2. Stage is set here for VA. And is wrapped up immediately at the 45. About 4 yards on that completed pass. Stanback's 4th catch of the game.
Stanback is working on something there. He looks like he's favoring the lower back. Trying to loosen up. Jordan Maximi's got a big 2nd and 6 here.
Stampeders defense trying to come up with a big play. They'll send 3. That's it. Adams bouncing around. There's a flag down the field as the pass is completed to McInnes. Flag in the secondary as he's wrapped up at the 50.
That was a short throw and just a
Illegal contact. Calgary, number 7. That penalty is declined. First down, BC.
a short throw and really a high percentage play for the BC offense. But this is a spectacular catch by Justin McInnes. I know it's not for big yards and all that. That's a tough one over the middle. He knows there's a lot of linebackers hanging out in that area. They want to hit with bad intentions, and Mike Alway was one of them, and he still snagged it.
Lions are marching, looking for the lead. 1st and 10 from the Calgary 50. Adams backpedaling, settles down in the pocket. Down the field! Is that intercepted at the 35? It is! Kobe Williams steps underneath and takes it away. The 2nd INT thrown by VA tonight.
You know Kobe Williams has seen this bender route from Justin McInnes. This is how he's made his living this year, and this is how he's had the big numbers in leading the league this year with that exact route. Kobe Williams did his homework. He went back and looked at it. He knows Vernon Adams trusts McInnes to throw it in there even if he's covered. VA's looking at this in route. He's done it many times. He said, well, he looks a little covered, but this guy comes up with it every time anyway. And Kobe Williams takes it.
Strong hands of Kobe Williams. First interception. Minute warning looming. They'll start it on the ground to Mills. To Hema is there. And he got back to the line of scrimmage. No further. Buckle up. Sunday night's been a thriller. Who have no wins on Sunday. There's Dedrick Mills. His left wrist was being held on to by the training staff. He's out of the game for now. Peyton Logan's in at running back. He'll stand next to Jake Mayer. 2nd and 10 from the Calgary 35. Mayer looking to the left. Down the field! No! Trying to drop one into Barnes again, but could not connect, and the Lions will get the ball back.
Boy, I tell you, that was a great throw, and that's coming from off the line of scrimmage. Barnes gets a good run at it, and actually he's going to be open. Shante Evans takes a step up at the shorter route and gets caught. And I thought that Mayer had dropped that over the outside shoulder. That's where you want to throw it, so even a recovering DB can't get involved, but just misses there.
Cody Grace to kick it away one more time from the 25. Wobbles its way down to Williams. And Williams, after a 42-yard kick, pushes it out just beyond his own 42. And Adams will get a chance again. A field goal, of course, would put them on top.
Really don't need to even manage the clock really here.
Nope.
At 2:30.
It's got 3 game-winning drives this season. Sean White, no big deal, but he's hit 42 in a row, including one from 52 earlier in this quarter. Can Calgary's defense take it away again? Lions starting on their own 43. Adams open. Persson tackled almost immediately on the far side by Nick Stats. Just a pickup of a couple.
Good angle there. Remember early on when Stats came with a bad angle and it was a touchdown for BC. That time he adjusted his angle and made a great tackle.
Yeah, that was a Berryhill touchdown, the first of the game. Made no mistake on it that time. Calgary crowd trying to get behind this defense. Lions need 8. 3 options wide side left for Adams. Looks over the middle. Throws one deep down over the middle. Incomplete. Dozier was working against Berryhill, and Berryhill could not get a hand on it.
Still time to punt the ball, I think, if you're BC. And looked like Rick Campbell's going to do exactly that.
Flintoff is coming out. As an injured Stampeder on the 45.
Yeah, that's Nick Stats again.
Stats standing there, stretching it out. Welcome back to McMahon. Nick Stats is up and walking off a little gingerly.
He's had a couple of good returns. This is a big play right here. The Lions strategy, of course, that they have time. Field position, that's their plan. Now, it does give control to Jake Mayer. A couple first downs, it's game over.
Flintoff, towering kick. Bergen waits, bounces all the way through the end zone.
Point doesn't matter, because it was 2 points anyway.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter. Smart, because it gives Jake Mayer field position to a point where now, you know, he can kill the clock, or even if they punt, it's going to force Vernon Adams into 4 or 5 first downs with limited time.
So this will start on the 40.
That completion percentage for Jake Mayer, closing in on 300 yards.
He came in at just over 70% on the season. And that one falls incomplete. I'm going to say it was live, nothing blown down. And that is Barnes who eventually picks it up.
Well, not a bad idea to do it whether it was or not, just to be sure, because turnover obviously puts you in a real bad spot. But you can see Barnes, I don't know, that went forward to me.
BC.
But smart by Barnes to just recover it anyway.
Loss of 8. BC calls a timeout.
And you can't.
BC Lions looking like they'll be in a good spot here to get the ball back. Vernon Adams watching and waiting.
Watch the quick punt.
Calgary will be on their own 32 here. Second and 18. Stampeders 2-0 at home to start the year. Have a lead, but it's the narrowest of margins. BC, they'll send 3. That's it. Mayer, far side, drops it in there. Barnes, right at the first down marker. Exactly what they needed. What a throw.
Right back to, remember Barnes on the deep go route that they just missed? Well, he came from off the line of scrimmage that time, and this time he's going to fake it and then just sit down. Make it look like you're going deep, and then just sit down right in front of Ronald Kent. It was a cloud coverage, was the corner up in the flat.
Wow.
And the halfback deep, and that halfback in Kent was a little late getting there on the out. What a great play call and throw from Mayer.
300-yard game for Jake Mayer, his second this season against the BC Lions. And now this ball bounces out. It's just laying down. The Lions are on it.
Not
Now
yet.
he loses it, and Calgary has it back. What is happening in McMahon? Philpott comes up with it. That was wild. Oh, man.
Okay, take a breath, partner, and let's What happened here? Okay, ball's out. There's no question that's a fumble. Sione Evans has it here. He goes down. He wasn't touched down by contact, so he loses it on his own. Barnes looks like he got hurt on that play. He's holding his arm. And how does Philpott end up getting back to it? I mean, that is clearly a fumble.
Oh, how did that sneak out? Tuck it underneath himself, and it popped out. Can you believe that?
Wow.
Maybe it's meant to be. Barnes is up. He's going to have to walk off.
Yeah, they didn't get first down yardage, so they've got basically the play gets to where the ball ended up, which is,
and that's it,
second down and 5 or a long 4.
A strong wind for Paredes here. This would be a tough one to kick unless you're taking it down in that 45-yard range, or at the 45-yard line, I should say.
They need another 10 yards at least.
2nd and 4 for Mayer. They'll hand it off. Pushing ahead for the first down. Was that Dedrick Mills back in the game?
Boy, it looked like he was done. I mean, they were holding his wrist. He couldn't. And it might be the one that seals the deal. New set of downs, Jake Mayer.
He knows it.
Now you can run the ball, keep the clock running. BC does not have a timeout to stop it.
And when they were walking Mills off, they were holding his arm like he wasn't going to be able to move it again. Wrapped him back up. He comes in, picks up the biggest 4 yards of the night. 1st and 10 from the 50. Back to him again, pushing ahead, and he'll get about 3 yards on that first down carry. Clock sits at 44 seconds.
So Jake Mayer will let the ref spot the ball and then whistle the play in. And they'll wait.
Calgary Stampeders only play close football games.
Once now they've allowed both teams to substitute. They blow it in and they wait now, and Jake Mayer will just let this go down. You see the 20-second clock. Get it right down as low as he can just before he snaps it.
2nd and 7. They'll get the snap in, and it on the clock.
Now the Lions can't stop the clock, so remember Shea Patterson at the end of that Saskatchewan game.
Well, I don't think Jake's going to run around, is he?
Well, no, and I don't either, but I'm saying that you can run it down to about 4 seconds and then retreat in a it back to BC.
By the time this one ticks down, he can just grab it, take a couple steps back,
and kneel down.
That should be.
Well, yeah, it is close. I thought there might be 4 or 5, but
take a knee here, and the Calgary Stampeders essentially are going to hang on for a 1-point victory over the BC Lions. Timeout called by Calgary.
Timer, please reset the game clock to 3 seconds.
Reset the clock to 3 seconds as Calgary called that timeout. They're just going to have to do the same thing here, then.
And then kneel down, yeah. Although I would, in victory formation, usually see receivers and maybe a running back in behind the quarterback just in case something happens with the snap.
Well, I'd say there's no chance of that, but with some of the things we've seen this season,
you never know.
You never know. Talk about the final 3 minutes. What about the final 3 seconds? Calgary Stampeders about to go to 3-0 at home.
Deontay Evans had the ball in his hand.
It's a mini two-game slide and remains perfect at McMahon.
And points for and against in the West Division don't matter for these two teams. They play each other 3 times.
Jake Mayer, 2 300-yard passing games against the BC Lions. Confident boost here for Jake Mayer, I would think, tonight.
Oh, absolutely. Another I think he's been playing his best football. Hasn't always got the results for other reasons, but Jake Mayer has been playing very well this year. Great completion percentage tonight.
Jake Mayer goes 25 of 32 for 307 yards and 3 touchdowns as the Calgary Stampeders and their defense slow down the offensive juggernaut that has been the BC Lions. Lions snap a 5-game winning streak. Stampeders 3-0 at home to start the season. 25-24 the win. SportsCenter's next. Good night from Calgary.